It's off now.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Well, welcome everyone to the second annual Rhode Island Stage Ensemble's skits and one-act play showcase. We asked local playwrights and directors to submit their shows.
Sorry, I don't understand.
It's okay. I'll get there. And we asked them to submit their plays and let us show off their work. And we're so grateful to have all of you joining us here, especially on a holiday, and supporting community theater and supporting us, Rhode Island Stage Ensemble. Now please note, there is no flash photography during plays. And if you need to take other kinds of photography, please try to be subtle about it and don't jump around and be really distracting. There are 2 exits in an emergency. You can go out the way you came in. There's also another door over here. And then you're just going to have to get down those stairs. Sorry. Now this is a school, so please, you got to put away your flasks and your cigarettes, and you got to get those tucked away, and don't bring them out again until after the plays and you're off school grounds. Thank you. There will be an intermission halfway through for about 15 minutes, and the restrooms are just out there in the hallway. So finally, please silence your cell phones, sit back and relax, and enjoy Rise SOAPS.
Welcome to Peculiar, population 2,985, which, despite the name, is really just a small town, like yours. The kind of small town that John Cougar sang about before he became John Cougar Mellencamp. And he would also sing about it as John Cougar Mellencamp before he became John Mellencamp. And he would also sing about it as John Cougar Mellencamp before he became John Mellencamp. And he would sing about our little town when he became Mellencamp and Cougar, and later, John. But I digress. Bruce Springsteen also sang about small towns before he discovered a young talent named John Cougar, and suggested that there are just not enough people singing about small towns. We don't know exactly how many songs he sang about small towns because for the first half of his career, Springsteen was completely unintelligible. But if we listen really hard, we can make out the words Cadillac and girl. A lot. But I digress more. Tonight you will see how the people in our little town live and die. We all live and die differently, so it would be a very long play if we didn't edit a bit. So to spare you the tedium, we will not show any nudity or bathroom visits. It's quite an honor to meet all of you. Welcome to Peculiar, where the mundane is still peculiar, and the peculiar is mundane. Make that up just now. We'll talk more later. Well, I will talk, and hopefully you will listen. Have a great evening. Afternoon. Pardon me, is this seat taken?
No.
Lorna? Lorna Jones, is that you?
Well, yes, but... Who are you?
Susan Mansfield. Remember me?
Oh, of course, Susan. How
complain. You?
No complaints here, so as if we did, who would listen?
Exactly. No use complaining. Not that I have any real complaints.
Right.
How's everything? It's been a while.
Well, everything is okay, can't complain. Remember when you embezzled all that money and made it look like I took it? Yeah, well, I went to jail for 10 years for that.
Ooh, that's long, eh?
Yeah, but it's all water under the bridge now. At least we have our health.
True, very true. My husband left me and he took everything. And he married my brother.
That's got hurt.
But whatever. That's what I say. What about you?
Can't complain.
Right. Who would listen anyway? I lost all that money I stole when computer hackers found a way into my secret overseas account. And they took everything I own. Now I live in a box.
Wow, you have a box. Why, I live under a bridge. But I'm not complaining, mind you.
We've got to put it all in perspective, dear. At least we've got our health. That we're alive.
Great point. Of course, after my dog bit me, I discovered he was rabid. And after I shot him in the head myself, I started foaming at the mouth.
Ooh,
I still do sometimes.
that must be tough, I can imagine.
Oh, it's not bad. I can't complain. People are far worse off, don't you know?
No, of course, far worse. After the car accident, the one in which my ex-husband died, my children all have amnesia and they don't remember me at all. I've no family, but who can complain? At least we have our health.
Precisely. Of course, I haven't had any feeling in this arm for years, but overall I'm good as gold.
Very true. I went to the doctor and he told me to take 1 pill a day for the rest of my life.
Only 1 pill? Well, see, at our age, that's a blessing. I rent a moving truck every month to pick up my medications.
Yes, and only 1 pill a day for the rest of my life. Of course, he only gave me 8 pills.
But on the bright side,
Right, the bright side, I always do. When the aliens came down and took me aboard their ship and did experiments on me for 3 years, did I complain?
that happened to you too.
The younger generation, all they do is complain. But not us, eh?
Exactly. No complaining here.
You, I say, your arm's just dropped off.
Oh, that's all right. I have another. Because of the whole alien thing, the government now follows me everywhere. I have no privacy.
No, that's bad.
No, not bad. I can't complain. Life is good, after all.
Lorna? Lorna, you okay? Oh dear. Well, at least I've got my health.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God, this is insane.
What? Are you just gonna sit there or are you gonna tell me?
I got the first 3.
The first 3 what?
Our fourth number is 40.
This is a lottery. Oh, baby, keep it coming, keep it coming. Oh, 50, 50.
Come on, 15.
The fifth number is 15.
Oh, that's my numbers!
What?
23 is the Powerball. The winning numbers are 52, 44, 8, 40, 15, and the Powerball is 23. Good luck, America.
52, 44, 8, 40, 15, and 23. 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 I won! Holy shit, I'm a zillionaire!
Excuse me? We're zillionaires.
What?
We?
Oh, right, yes, no, we're zillionaires. Yeah, right.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is crazy. This is so totally crazy.
If I were a rich man, or a tailor on a bomb, if I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a bitty rich, yeah.
You made such a good Tammy at last year's community theater production.
I
So what do?
do.
We just won $1 zillion. Are we supposed to tell someone? I called the lottery.
Oh, well, it's after 11 o'clock, everything's closed.
So what? Go to bed? I am true wired.
Me too. How about a toast?
Great idea. Do we have anything in the fridge? I'll go check. Nothing. Just a flat bottle of mango-flavored seltzer. Oh, here.
I'd like to thank all the little people who so graciously bought so many lottery tickets to make us zillionaires.
Here.
Clink! We have to tell someone. We can't just keep this to ourselves. How about our parents?
Call this time of night, they're gonna think that someone's died.
How about one of my brothers? They'd be so happy for me.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
How about my sister? We're good at telling secrets.
This is the same sister that broke the news of our engagement to your parents.
A slip of the tongue.
My clown phobia.
Careless oversight.
What about when you told your mom I hated her apple pie?
Right, my sister's out.
Maybe we don't tell anyone.
Where's the fun in that?
Pat, you tell one person, and then everybody knows, and then they're descending on you like hungry locusts. Or a pack of piranhas in a furious feeding frenzy. Or a great white that's thrashing around its...
All right, I get it. No phone calls.
Hey, how about a celebratory toast? We go out.
Where?
Anywhere. Come on, right tree. Wait! On second thought, we have to stay.
Why?
Okay, hear me out. What if we get hit by a bus? And then we end up in the hospital with amnesia? Or our car gets sideswiped and then we die in fiery inferno? Or we go for a moonlight swim and we're mauled by a great white.
It's no more Shark Week for you. Hey, stay home. What are you doing?
Yoga. It relaxes me. Why don't you join me?
Why not?
Oh, that was so much better.
So, George, now that we have all this money, what are we going to do with it?
What did that announcer say? Dream big. So, let's dream big. We'll play a game. You pick 3 big things that you want to do with the money, and then it's my turn.
George, this is silly.
Oh, come on, be a sport. We can do it sooner or later.
All right, 3 things. 3 things. Number 1. We called David from my lottery dream home to appear on the show.
Is that the guy with all the tattoos?
Leave him alone, he's cute. Alright, number 2. Since I'm thinking about buying property, how about our own secluded island? Oh, white sands and blue seas.
And pirates!
Pirates?
Yes, pirates. You're in the middle of nowhere on this island, and then all of a sudden you're surrounded by these scallywags, and they're drinking your liquor and partying in the pool and making a mess of the house.
Hey, maybe we can put the island on hold. Number 3. I buy a Victorian garden in England. There'll be fruit trees and wildflowers and a couple of grottos and arbors. Oh, and a little stream running through it. I'll have to have my own private jet, of course, to ferry me back and forth. And, I can buy my own English soccer team. Or, as they say across the pond, a football team.
That's 4 or 5.
I must count. I was dreaming big. Your turn.
Number 1, I'm gonna buy an 18-hole golf course in New Zealand, Southland, just outside Queensland. Maybe let me borrow your jet.
Get your own jet.
Fine. Number 2, I'll buy passage on a rocket to space.
Show them boys that size does matter.
You betcha! 3, a super yacht.
What do you know about sailing? And aren't you afraid that pirates are gonna take over the ship?
I didn't even think about that. I'll hire ex-Navy SEALs to protect me.
Us!
Us! 4,
What happened to 3?
4, I'll hire Elton John to perform at our next wedding anniversary. And 5, because I'm in such a rock and roll mood, I'll buy the catalog of the Beatles back from Michael Jackson.
He's dead.
Right. I'll get it from whoever owns it now.
George, neither of us mentioned anything philanthropic. I mean, that sounds bad. We have $1 zillion.
How selfish of us. We can start a foundation that can,
End world hunger.
stop global warming.
Clean the oceans of plastics.
Do you have enough money for all that?
With change to spare. What are your glasses doing on the floor?
That's where they are. I was looking all over for them, thanks.
Were you wearing your glasses when you read the numbers?
No.
How many times have I told you to wear your glasses when you're reading?
What's the problem?
May I see the ticket? What were the numbers again?
52, 44, 8, 40, 15, and 23.
Sam again?
52, 44, 8, 14, and 23.
Were you eating one of your chocolate bars?
Maybe.
Now read the numbers. With your glasses!
52, 44, 8, 39, 16, and 28. I missed 1 or 2.
3! You missed 3! We're not zillionaires, we're nothing else.
Don't get upset. You know what they say. Easy come, easy go.
George!
Doesn't mean I still get to watch Shark Week.
What the fuck? You're up early.
Couldn't sleep. Started jotting down some notes. One thing led to another.
Excellent. Wait a second, what is this? What the hell is this? The Imaginary Western?
Ingmar Bergman's Seven Seals set in 1870s Dakota Territory. Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane, existential angst and ennui in the Old West.
Reads more like High Noon meets Dracula.
You would think that, but you can't see the subtle changes.
Didn't you have this idea years ago? Back in Ingmar's Intro to Screenwriting class. Yeah, there's a first draft of this somewhere around here.
Still in the conceptual stage.
20 years later. Where's that first draft of DP we were looking at yesterday?
Under there.
Yeah. What about this? And this is what we talked about yesterday. I thought we were on the same page.
A second draft?
Yeah, you said you'd reread the first draft, look at my ideas, and we'd get started on a new outline today. This morning.
Yeah, I remember that.
Small miracle. The state you were in.
Hey, some of us can hold our liquor.
Sorry. So, what'd you think of my ideas?
I started reading it. I really did. For a first draft, it doesn't suck too much. Like we said back then, words on every page. Then I went looking for some of our old notes in one of these boxes, found the Western, and got distracted. It's like I'm an archaeologist in some tomb, sifting through the ruins, brushing away the dust and debris, coming across some lost treasure I'd forgotten existed.
Oh, here it is. Our old notes. Tannis's comments. Turf battle. Alright, understandable, given the nostalgic mood that we were in and your obvious state of mind. Second draft?
I don't know. Subterranean troglodytes appear in the Mexican Arizonan desert. Millions fleeing some underground catastrophe. Herded into refugee camps, exterminated by the military-industrial complex.
So you did reread it?
No. But it isn't hard to remember the highlights of the first and only script we wrote together. 1950s science fiction B-movie. It's been done better since then. But I gotta ask, why?
Why what?
Why write a second draft? With me? You having some sort of midlife crisis? Tired of whatever this is? Trying to be the screenwriter you never were?
It's complicated.
Can't be that complicated. Have a drink. Walk me through the backstory. Paint a picture for me. Act 1, fade in, interior, basement. Two film school buddies who haven't seen each other in years, estranged. Well, let's say there have been incidents. One, a computer, whatever it is you are, whatever it is you do, successful, seems to have it all. The outward trappings of middle-aged success, house, car, wife, maybe. So, our protagonist comes up with a plan to rewrite a 1950s science fiction B-movie the two of them banged out in 7 days 20 years ago. Why? I don't get it. Why don't you have a drink and tell me about it?
Nice touch.
What?
The wife thing.
The old ball and chain? It's a classic.
She'll be back.
Who knows? That's Act 3. We're not there yet. Haven't got to the first plot point. Do they decide to write the second draft together or not?
You know, I always said you had a way with words. Sketched out that first character pretty well.
What can I say? Talent.
How about I try and flesh out that second character?
What about him?
Well, he's also middle-aged, but older. Not as successful.
Depends on how you define
Success? Let's see, a lot of good ideas that didn't turn into anything. Wrote a lot of first drafts that didn't go anywhere. Bit of a flounderer when it comes to life. Couldn't hold down a real job. Lived with his parents. There's drugs and alcohol involved. But always ready to pick up the phone to bullshit about the good old days with the usual coda of, man, I hate to ask, but I could really use $100. I promise I'll pay you back.
Well done. Not as succinct, but film is dead. It's all sequels and superhero movies. Citizen Kane Part 3, Marvel bullshit Part 99, The Invisible Hand of Capitalism, guiding the world towards profitable mediocrity.
Please, don't get started with the Karl Marx, proletariat, opiate of the masses bullshit again.
I don't write screenplays anymore.
So you say.
Theater, plays, that's where it's at. Oedipus Rex, Tennessee Williams, Streetcar Named Desire, Our Town, the classics.
Cats, Phantom of the Opera, Guys and Dolls, the crap. Okay, I guess this imaginary Western is going to be a play now. Fine, we can write Displaced Persons, the play, make it a musical. Open on Broadway, cast albums, t-shirts, souvenir programs, the works.
You're unfucking believable.
What?
You know why we never wrote a second draft together all those years ago? It was because of you. Yes, you. Take a look at our old notes. You probably don't remember all the changes you wanted to make. You wanted to make them from another planet, not underground. Spacemen or something like that. Refugees fleeing some Star Wars apocalypse. It'll sell, you said. It's commercial. It's wrong. It's crap. DP was supposed to say something.
What? Man's inhumanity to man in a 1950s sci-fi B-movie? How profound.
Fuck you. It wasn't supposed to be some sort of lowest common denominator popcorn movie. Another Spielberg or Lucas summer blockbuster bullshit. That's why we never wrote another script together. Because of you and your commercialism. Your obsession with money and stuff.
You're a fucking hypocrite. Look around this room. All of this stuff, it's all your stuff.
I didn't stop writing. I didn't get the cushy corporate job. I didn't sell out.
No, not if selling out means getting a job or paying your bills. You couldn't sell out if they put a gun to your head, pen in your hand, and told you to sign on the dotted line. Don't give me that stuff crap. As long as someone's around to take care of you and your stuff, you're fine with it. Your parents? Me? You remember how many trips I had to take down and back to cart this crap from your parents' apartment? The only reason that you're able to rummage through any of this stuff is because of me. I think I've made my amends.
I've got limited AA experience, but I don't think it's up to you to say when an amend has been made. I think I read that somewhere. Step 9, I believe.
Fuck you, Mr. Searching and fearless mortal inventory. If it wasn't for me, all of this stuff would be in the dumpster. Remember how your sister kicked you out of your parents' house after your mom died? Or when Mike's girlfriend had you arrested after you crashed on their couch for a year and a half and then got into a drunken fist fight with him? Who bailed you out every single time? Yeah, if it wasn't for me, you'd still be living in that shelter, living with junkie whores and panhandling for your next drink instead of living in a group home and scribbling in drunken leisure through your past failures.
Failures?
No, not failures. Fuck-ups! Because that's who you are. You're Captain Fuck-Up.
It's not my fault.
It never is. Not you, Mr. Struggling, misunderstood, misanthropic artist who's lucky enough to have someone, somewhere, out there, playing by the rules, ready to compromise so they can bail your ass out when you screw up. You know what? You're right. I think I'm gonna turn over a new leaf and get rid of some of this stuff.
Hey, you can't do that. That's my stuff.
That's still your stuff. I'm just getting it out of my basement like I should have done years ago. Will you write the second draft with me?
No.
You know, just once, I like to have any conversation with you that doesn't end with someone taking a resentment.
Where'd you pick that up from? From those meetings you never went to?
I don't think you can do it.
What? Leave? I've got the return ticket in my pocket. Thank you for that. By the way, once I'm back in the city, I changed my phone number again and we're through.
I remember.
Done it before.
Yeah, I remember. And I'm sure you can do that. What I don't think you can do is write a second draft. I don't think you've written a second draft of anything since I've known you.
Get the fuck out of here. I wrote a second draft of Kentucky Avenue.
No, you didn't. You're not going to find a second draft of it anywhere in this room. Check. You sent it to me, I read it, gave you my comments, but you didn't think anything had to be changed. I think perfect the way it is were your exact words. You don't have a second draft in you.
Maybe if I got some constructive criticism.
Maybe if you had the balls to send it to anyone other than me to read.
People beside you have read my scripts.
That's right. I think your dentist read Blood Lessons. And your therapist, the one who helped you get SSI, I think she read Margot's Building? Yeah, I bet that helped her get a head start on all that psychoanalysis. And I sent Werewolf of Christmas to Phil.
Why the fuck did you do that?
I wanted to hear what he'd say.
So what did your buddy from NYU, the Hollywood screenwriter, the fucking hack, have to say about Werewolf?
I think his email is around here somewhere. You know, hack or not, he makes a living doing it. Writing, screenplays, puts his ass in the chair, spends the time, writes as many drafts as he needs to get it sold. He's a professional.
I'm a professional.
You're an amateur. You're someone who types, an amateur typist. A professional retypes.
So I'm supposed to prostitute myself. Get an agent, rewrite until my script turns to crap because I took notes from idiots and assholes who think they're the next Marty Scorsese or Ingmar Bergman because they can write a complete sentence. Get the fuck out of here.
Now here it is. While the idea of Santa being turned into a werewolf is very unique and amusing, he needs to work on two things. Streamlining his storytelling and writing a good scene.
Writing a good scene. Get the fuck out of here.
The rest is pretty much the same.
Should have sent them Margot's Building. Or fucking good scenes in that, I'll say.
I don't see the point. Just imagine what he'd say. A Hitchcockian homage in the vein of North by Northwest if Cary Grant was a chronic masturbator and Eve Marie Saint was a sex worker. Bondage and autoerotic asphyxiation are not plot points. Lose the self-castration scene at the end.
So why don't you write a second draft with your buddy Phil?
I don't see the point. I don't think he has the time. And we live on opposite coasts. And I haven't written anything in years. And he's already got a writing partner. They're the ones who Wrote Ice Holes for Disney.
1, 2, or 3?
I think just the first 2. After that, there were creative differences. You think I'm commercial. Every time Phil sends me one of his ideas, it's another paint by numbers, 4-quadrant, hit every demographic marketing strategy. Some kind of Dirty Harry meets Robin Hood meets When Harry Met Sally, or I don't know, Ghostbusters meets Flipper. It makes me feel like Maya Deren.
That avant-garde experimental filmmaker you were such a fan of?
Yeah, Meshes in the Afternoon. I think I've got it on tape somewhere around here. It wouldn't be the same.
Nothing's the same anymore.
It's not about the screenplay. It's never been about the fucking screenplay. Do you ever miss it?
What?
Never mind. Look, why don't you get dressed? We'll get something to eat, and I'll take you down to the train station this afternoon.
That's it?
It?
This? Us? What about a second draft?
What about it? I don't see the point. It's a waste of time, waste of breath. All we do whenever we talk about anything other than the good old days is disagree. I'm just tired of arguing. It would have been fun, maybe, but it was a bad idea.
What if we did it?
Did what?
Wrote a second draft together.
Stop fucking around with me. There's not enough time.
We wrote this in what? A week?
6, maybe 7 days, in your apartment with Swanee above his parents' house. So?
So? We've still got most of the weekend. You must have sick days, vacation days at the 9-to-5 corporate grind. Use some of that. Bang it out in a week. Maybe even have time to watch some of the old movies.
Roger Corman's Attack of the Crab Monsters.
R.I.P. I prefer Herb Harvey's Carnival of Souls.
It'll never work. I'll want to change stuff and you won't want to change a single thing. We'll argue about everything and not get a single thing written. You'll probably drive me to drink.
Maybe that's the key.
I don't see any key. Fuck, I don't see any lock.
Bear with me. Our protagonist. Why hasn't he written a second draft by now? By himself. Why does he need his loser friend's help? I don't know. Maybe he's tried. Snuck down to the basement after everyone's asleep, rolled a blank page into the typewriter, and sat there, hands on keys, sober as a judge, the mechanical hum getting louder and louder in his ears. That's probably gone on for years.
Writer's block. Really, that's your big revelation? That's bullshit. I could write it by myself if I wanted to.
Could you? But I remember not all those midnight calls originated from me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just not creative. Not like you. I've got all this anxiety.
I get your point. It wouldn't be a problem.
I must disagree. All right. Bad idea. I'll get dressed and you can drive me to the train station. You don't mind if I take the imaginary Western with me, do you?
It's still your stuff. I'm just the custodian. I should start giving tours of this place. Over here we find items from his blue period, where themes veer into denial and self-deception. Watch your step.
I can take the train up, give lectures, and readings, and interviews. Or it's showtime.
I think you're being a bit overly dramatic. Theatrical, even.
I've never been more sober.
You know what they say.
What do they say?
One drink is too many, 1,000's not enough.
You're gonna let a bunch of recovering alcoholics tell you how to live your life, how to be happy? You can pick up another White chip, that's what it is, right? When we're done with the new draft. Bet you picked up a few of those over the years.
A few.
What's one more? Ugh. Sweet smell of success. It's not gonna kill you.
One drink. Only.
Acquired taste. It'll come back.
Okay. Let's get started. Fade in. Okay. We start in the desert, like before. But this time the trogs don't come up from the underground cavern like we originally wrote. And it's not their spaceship that lands, it's a self-replicating portal. I know, it's not what we originally wrote, but hear me out.
Okay. Tell me about it.
Middle of the desert, middle of the night, Milky Way galaxy overhead. Suddenly a star starts getting bigger. Is it a plane? Gets bigger and bigger, closer and closer.
Then a huge flash of light turns the desert night to day. It clears, and there's this glowing wreckage strewn all over. Not a meteorite. Maybe a plane crash? Maybe.
You did read my notes. So this wreckage and debris starts moving on its own, and they start coming together, crawling like insects. They start moving, forming something.
I think this is gonna be good.
So this wreckage, it's moving, it's starting to assemble this Geiger-esque
Arch. And the glow keeps getting brighter and brighter.
right. So now we cut to this nearby town. It's like Piedmont, Arizona, in the first Andromeda Strain movie. 10, maybe 20 ramshackle buildings clustered around these two crossroads. Post office, 2 bars, gas station, bunch of houses.
A couple of good old boys outside the local bar chug their beers, toss the empties aside, and jump in their pickup trucks and speed out of town towards the glowing horizon.
our last session, and as soon as we're done, you're out of here.
What? Why? Deinstitutionalize me, please don't.
You need to get back out there.
But doctor, you can't. I love it here. The Institute of Love is my best place ever. It's safe here. I intend to stay.
We've put you through all the tests 5 times. You're a hopeless romantic. It's a serious condition, and in your case, quite uncurable. But it's not like it's terminal. We've tried everything.
Oh, come on. Surely there's another test or a study. A long-term study. You know how I love studies.
I've conferred with my colleagues, and you're screwing up our data. Most people respond to our treatments, and either you won't or you can't. Which is it?
I don't know.
Perhaps there's some set of circumstances in your past. Something so hidden it's like an invisible hand.
I told you all about my heartbreaks.
Ad infinitum.
All the loves I've lost.
Please don't start again.
First, there was Heidi.
Your first kiss, I know.
It was such a tender moment, and she had so many freckles. I loved her freckles.
The first kiss can be powerful.
Unforgettable. Do you remember yours?
I do. And without going into too much detail, I remember it was wet and sloppy.
The boy next door, I bet.
Go on.
Well, many years later, I ran into Heidi again. She wasn't the same at all.
No freckles?
Just something vacant in her eyes, as if life had beat her down.
Sad.
Then there was Susie. Oh my God, Susie! She was the love of my life, and then she took up with that other man.
You mean her husband?
She went back to her husband. Choosing him instead of me, can you imagine that? Total heartbreak. We thought the child was ours. Oh my God, Susie!
Tissue.
Thanks. And then there was Blue Bear.
The real love of your life, I know. Realer than Susie, the one who got away. Are you ready to talk about Blue Bear?
I can't. I'm sorry. Not today. Then there was...
That's enough. Nice try, Mr. Simmons, but my mind is made up. You still have to leave.
Well, here's the thing. If I talk about Blue Bear, my roof will cave in. I'm still too devastated. And the worst part is that I still believe, that true love is out there, just like the Holy Grail.
Experiencing love, it's not a quest. The Holy Grail is a myth.
I know I'm going to try to find it again, but I'm not ready yet. And I'm still afraid
Of what?
of having my heart broken all over again.
True love.
Grail of all grails. Yes.
Mr. Simmons, the Institute of Love is not about finding true love. We're about helping you cope with love. And love takes a lot of coping. There are so many shapes and sizes of love, so many colors of love, so many dimensions of love. We teach you all of its languages, all of its meanings, and in your case, we failed. But one thing we all know is true. Love does not exist. It's another myth.
True love is unconditional love.
Ah, you are in love with the idea of being in love. And because every love you've ever had has ended up in disappointment, that should be proof enough that your expectations are way too high.
Think of the North Star, Doctor.
There is no such thing as unconditional love. So you are being released. Godspeed. Stop trying to find it. Maybe, if you're lucky, human love will find you.
Always there, always shining. Just because it's cloudy out doesn't mean it's gone away.
Love is flawed. It's very, very flawed and messy. It needs a lot of forgiveness to survive and thrive.
All I've ever wanted is to be someone's North Star and for them to be mine. Complete and total acceptance and a shared identity. Is that asking too much? We can agree on this. The most powerful things in the universe are the things you can't see. And you can't see fear either. Maybe you should be calling me a fearful romantic instead of the hopeless one, because there's one thing I'll always have, Doctor, and that is hope.
You have definitely been one of our most interesting patients, Mr. Simmons. But here at the Institute of Love, we only have so many resources. Think of it this way. Your departure frees us up to help someone who we can help. Farewell.
That's it? But it's taco night. And last night's chicken was pretty awful, I'm just saying.
You won't be here for dinner.
Oh, come on. How about a last meal before I face the firing squad?
When you are out there, let love find its way to you. But let it in. I grant you this, it's all around us, as perennial as the grass.
Spoken like a real romantic, Doctor. I love you.
That's completely normal. Transference.
And then there was you. Tu es magnifique. Je t'aime. Oh, I fell in love with you the moment we met. You are so kind and caring. Je t'adore. May I call you Eleanor?
You could if that was my name.
Oh, sweet, sweet Eleanor. Where have you been my whole life?
Get back in your chair. Pull yourself together.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Tissue.
Oh,
Either you are having a psychotic break, or
yes, Doctor.
you'll do anything to stay here another night. Which is it?
Anything.
Have a seat. You're not staying, but I want to tell you something important. Are you listening?
Yes, Eleanor.
It's Elizabeth. You are such a crazy romantic that I love you too.
You do?
In a human, practical way.
Same time tomorrow?
You know what? I'm going to do you one big favor. Don't ask me why.
A prescription? No, I don't need any of that.
You could call it that. And by doing this, I could probably lose my license. If I actually needed a license.
No license?
Love doesn't need one. It's my cousin's number. Call her.
What? Oh, why?
She's a handful. A lot like you. And maybe we'll see each other at Thanksgiving dinner sometime. If you don't blow it.
Thank you, Doctor. I don't know what to say.
Don't thank me yet. She's climbed a few desks in her time, and I wouldn't try climbing on her desk. At least not right away.
You're giving me a fresh start.
And hope. Now, will you please get out of here?
Okay. Bye-bye then. Au revoir.
Au revoir. Bonne chance. Bye-bye.
Bonne nuit.
How you doing?
As can be expected, I guess.
Same here. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Me too. I took some melatonin, but it didn't do any good.
Helps you get to sleep, but that's it. Doesn't help you stay asleep.
I didn't know that.
Thought I mentioned it once.
I guess I don't remember.
So, this is it?
We've talked about this.
Nothing's set in stone. We could just stop and go on with our lives the way they've always been.
Let's be realistic. We both know that's not the way things work. As hard as this is, it's going to be the best thing for both of us.
I just...
David, we have talked about this over and over. How many sessions do we have with counselors? Why are you making this so difficult?
just keep wondering if this is the best solution. I don't want to lose what we have.
I know a number of couples who have gone through this, as agonizing as it is. We just have to face facts.
Part of me thinks we could have tried harder. Just seems the easy way out.
You know, as hard as this is, I think it's a very practical and rational decision.
Maybe that's the problem. Seems so cold.
I don't know what else you want me to say. What time is it?
Almost 12 o'clock. Is that when the car services arrive?
I need to be ready.
What else is there to do? The papers are signed, everything's set.
You know, I may be putting on a brave face, but this has been a very difficult decision for me.
For both of us.
You know what I meant.
I love you.
I know you do. But how's that going to change your decision?
It's not. I just wanted you to know.
Well, I could have used more of that when this all started.
Same here.
I wasn't the one who was being aloof about this. When I needed to talk about our lives together, you were always too busy at work or had other things to do.
That's not fair.
I'm telling you how I'm feeling.
Don't point fingers. I'm not up for a fight.
Who's fighting? We're having a discussion.
I don't call attacking me much of a discussion. You know, I was thinking we were going to be so civil about all this. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lash out at you.
I know. What are you laughing about?
Oh, nothing.
You're just spontaneously laughing.
No, no. I was thinking back when we first met in college. God, we were so young back then.
Is it intro to political theory class?
Boy, that professor was boring.
Did love his British accent. Even if I never got his dry wit.
Boring with a capital B, but it wasn't poli-sci, it was macroeconomics.
You mean micro?
Micro, macro, what's the difference?
Maybe that's why you needed so much help.
I needed help because someone stole my Intro to Economics textbook. Is it my fault that I was so clueless about what was going on? Only if concepts I could remember were supply and demand and guns and butter.
You did have such a pathetic look on your face when you asked to borrow my notes.
It was either dying for rejection from you or fail the course. I'm glad I made the right choice.
Yeah, me too.
Can I have a hug?
Not now. I think I'd just like to be alone. I said no! Why can't you ever listen?
Where is this coming from?
Never mind.
No. Don't do that. For once, just tell me what you're thinking.
It's just that...
Wait a minute. Are you blaming me for what's going on?
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to. It's what you meant.
That's not true.
I don't believe you. For once, say what you're thinking instead of beating around the bush. You always expect me to know what you're...
Why do we fight all the time?
It's not all the time. Don't exaggerate.
Don't yell at me.
I'm not yelling. If I was yelling, you'd know it. Can we just call a truce?
I can do that.
Good.
I better go wait outside. It's almost time.
Do you want me to go with you?
I'd just like to be alone.
Can I take the suitcase now?
Just leave it until they get here.
What if she doesn't want to go?
I hadn't thought of that. But it shouldn't be a problem. She's having a good morning.
Will you come back in to walk out with us? I don't know if I can do it on my own.
No, we both need to go.
I don't know if I can. It's very hard for me.
Oh, I know. I know.
When you and I got together, it was like I was getting two for the price of one. You, the love of my life, and your mom, who's been like a second mother to me.
I know. Your mother died when you were just in high school.
My father, never remarried. I didn't care. Pretty soon it was just the two of us. Your mother was so welcoming, warm-hearted. It's been so wonderful having her live in our apartment these past few years. She's been such a blessing with the kids.
David, don't do this to yourself.
Why are we doing this?
Come on. We've talked about this so many times. You know it's too late to stop. When the Alzheimer's Center calls and says that they have an opening, you don't say no. They might not have another spot for months or longer. As much as we both hate having my mother move to the facility, it's going to be the best thing for her.
Don't say that word, facility. It sounds like something Geraldo Rivera would say to investigate the 1970s. Are we sure we're not just doing this because it would be easier for us?
How can you say that? You think I want my own mother cared for by strangers? What if she falls, or she hates the food, or she cries out for me in the middle of the night? I won't be there.
It's one of the best assisted living communities that money can buy.
It's a little comfort.
Do you think she'll be safe there?
I can only hope so. The company that runs the place has an excellent track record. And all in all, it should be a very good fit.
I hope so.
It's all we have now. It's home. They're here.
This is so surreal.
Why don't you go up and get her, and I'll tell the driver we'll be out in a few minutes.
We can do this.
Yes, we can.
I told you I love you.
Yes. We can. I think I can use that. Like now.
unless you ask.
What if I don't want to?
You must! You are very beautiful. You know that, don't you?
Well, thank you.
Do it. Say what's on what I am thinking.
What I am thinking.
Darn it! Why can't anything go right? Invite me in.
Wait a minute. You think just because you show up all fancy and in a cape and offer me flattering comments that I will automatically fall for your lame advances? Women have advanced far too much in history, pal, to fall for that stuff. I have a mind and a brain and don't need validation from every guy who stares at me and ogles me and offers me compliments. Oh. 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 Won't you come in?
No thanks. The moment has passed.
My life story. Stranger shows up with a cape, hypnotizes me, asks to come in, gives me flowers, and then leaves.
You just started, yeah. It's only about 3 minutes. Yeah.
Aurora, that's my stage, and you're not an actor.
You can go down there and be the lady. Yep. One of the actors?
Oh, no. Yeah.